What if your print on demand business could tap into a booming niche that has seen so much growth recently and has still so much untapped potential for personalization? Well, today I am walking through the book lover, bookish niche and how you can get a slice of this insane opportunity. We're unpacking how Etsy is seeing an insane resurgence in literary merch, how book clubs are totally back, and sales gold is happening and you're missing it. And I'm going to show you how to not risk copyright, but still play in this niche where there is so much additional opportunity. And as always, I came with receipts and trends and different tools and tactics that give you a fresh lens of how to do some research for this category. So let's dive in.
If you are new here, please like and subscribe. I post videos like this every week, talking through trends, tips, tricks, hacks, everything that you need to launch and scale your print on demand business. I myself personally have done over $250,000 of revenue through print on demand, primarily through Etsy. And so I like to spend time helping other people do the exact same thing to help make it rain. And today we are going to be diving into the literary niche, the bookish niche, and diving into all of the data associated with why this trend is a top pick for the back half of 2025. So let's talk a little bit about what makes the book lover niche a top pick for print on demand. Well, it is very trendy right now. What I have in front of you is a trend edit that Etsy released for the summer and spring of 2025, and it walks through a bunch of really juicy data regarding the book lover niche. We have seen people becoming obsessed with different series of books, starting and joining book clubs, and getting more into this book lover category. And that has transpired over to the way that folks are shopping for their hobbies as well. On Etsy alone, they have reported that there are 20,000 book-related sales every single day, which is a crazy number. We are now in August, heading into the back half of the year and into Q4. And so there is definitely still an opportunity here in this category. And what also makes it great is that there are constantly different books coming out that are very popular in the media that are getting people interested in becoming a book lover or reading specific books. I will talk a little bit later about how we are not going to want to infringe on any trademarks, but there are still lots of ways with this interest in different niches and genres and tropes of books that we're going to be able to use that to our advantage for the book lover category. And as you can see here with this data, so many fun nuggets to unpack here. As I mentioned, over 20,000 book-related purchases every day. In addition to that, blind book date boxes have more than doubled. We see some interest in candles and stickers. And so we'll dive into the specifics on what is performing on Etsy, but has all of the initial green flags to what will be perfect for print on demand because we can customize this, we can personalize it, and it's a trendy niche that is popular in social media, which will help organically push our products out there. First things first, we need to take a look at the data. We have to understand what is working in this category so that way we know what to design, what not to design, and just ground ourselves in the data. The reason I like to do this is it's always easier to take something that is working and make it better than it is to just find a whole new pocket of growth. I'm not saying that that is not amazing when it does happen, but if something is working, it's a great business decision to educate yourself on that. And so the way that I like to do that is I go over to Etsy, I type in book lover, and I'm going to use my trusty extension Everbee to take a look at the product analytics. Now, what this tool does is it allows me to see back end what are some estimates of sales and revenue numbers for the products that are being sold on Etsy. This uses an algorithm that kind of takes a look at favorites, reviews, and kind of mashes all that up into an estimate on how much this product has sold in revenue and in volume. So it's not always spot on, but it's a really, really great tool to be getting some initial insight onto what is selling on the platform. So what I'll do is I've typed in book lover, I've added in my product analytics, and I'm gonna go over to Everbee database, and I wanna take a look at all of Etsy, not just what showed up on the homepage, to get an understanding on what is working well. I'm also going to change my metrics to not just be the last months. I want to see a little bit further back, and I'm going to go back 6 months. What you'll see here in this little growth rate bar is that a lot of these numbers are looking like it's on the decline. if we take a look at the last 6 months, that is going to be February through August. There's not as many sales that are done in February and August. Where the bulk of sales start to really happen is now through December. And so we will see some of that data come through, but keep in mind that just because something has a lower growth rate now, obviously if we compare February through August to the prior 6 months, everything's gonna look down because the gifting season is just such a big opportunity. So when we take a look at this information, right off the bat, there are some green signs to me. The first one is that there are specific SKUs in this category that are doing $200,000 in the last 6 months. An insane amount of revenue. Keep in mind here, these are blind date with a book. So people are making customized gift boxes with like a blind book that you can go on and do like a book date. A little bit out of our realm from a print on demand perspective, but if you are your own Etsy seller and it's possible to do more of these like customized items, keep that in mind that there are some riches in the niches, and this could be a good one if you can think of other creative ways to tap into the book lover category. The next couple of products are going to be similarly, they'll be hard for print on demand. Personalized book embossers have done an insane amount of revenue, and I continue to see this trend well, and we will see it trend well in the back quarter of the year as well. But as we quickly start to scroll down, we will start to see some categories that as print on demand sellers or aspirational print on demand sellers start to fall into more of that t-shirt, sweatshirt category that will be more attainable for us. What I will highlight here, and we will spend some time digging into, is that a lot of these items are going to be trademarked or items that are specifically baked off of actual books and the author's creation. What we want to avoid is taking an actual book, an actual character, an actual plot setting, and making that part of our designs, because that is infringing on somebody else's work to use their work to drive profit to your store. So there's always going to be a red flag on these types of products, and at any moment they could get flagged and get taken down and at risk for different legal action, which we want to avoid. So I'll go into a little bit more of this in a second, but keep that in mind that this is kind of a minefield, and you're gonna want to be keeping your wits about you, and why it's a good idea to not copy, but create your own success, and I'll show you how to do that. So right off the bat, there are a couple of listings that are jumping out to me. This one is one that I think is a great example. We have a sweatshirt here that is more generic that says just one more chapter. And if we dive a little bit deeper and we analyze this listing, it is an amazing seller. We can take a look at the crew neck and take a look at all time to get some sales numbers for this product. And sure enough, as I assumed, in this holiday gifting period, this sweatshirt was doing hundreds of sales in a month, which is very exciting to see. Projected, not always accurate, but projected revenue of over $50,000. So this generic book-related sweatshirt has a huge leg up going into the holiday again this year, because it has a lot of great sales data, and Etsy has learned that this niche is performing well, this product is selling, and so there's lots of opportunity for us to take this type of winning combination and recipe and make our own winning combination recipe. Another example that I found in those like top SKUs was going to be this bookworm t-shirt. The embroidered products are performing really, really well right now, and so I would implore you to start considering how you could work embroidery into your products. As of right now, Printful and Printify have merged, and you can get a lot of the Printful products on Printify, and they're actually offering free digitization for the time being. So if you do have products that are in this category, or products that are performing well, even if it's not book related, and you have interest in testing into the embroidery category, I would totally start doing that as well. For example, here, if we take a look at all time for this product as well, the t-shirt, we saw that this didn't even launch last Q4. It really just launched here in the springtime and has risen over summertime. So it's probably going to be a huge, huge winner for Q4. It has done nearly $17,000 of revenue and has just had an insane growth rate. So both of these are different products that are more generic, and we're not going to copy, but it gives us some confidence that there is potential in these generic book related categories that we could put our own spin to and make them better and potentially more customized for what is performing well across the book related niche. And how are we going to do that, you ask? What I recommend we do is we take a look at some more data to get a better understanding. If you are not a book lover, what is performing well? What are people loving, and how can we take what people are loving and incorporate that into our brand? So one little tidbit of advice that I'll give you for this category is to meander on over to this website called Goodreads. Goodreads is an amazing platform that allows you to kind of create your own account, track which books you've read, rate the books that you've read, and if people are looking to get reviews on books that they're planning to read, they can use this as a resource to see like, yeah, it's actually got a really great rating or it's really not that good. It's kind of like Rotten Tomatoes if you watch movies or TV shows, but for books. So people use this as a source of truth, and if they're book lovers, they have a Goodreads account. What they will do is they will constantly release additional kind of articles and interviews and news about what is trending well across their broad readers. And what they recently posted in June was some of the new hit books of the year. So what is really topical right now? What are people loving at this moment? So that way we can take some of the learnings here for our own business. So what we can see here is that they've listed out different genres: contemporary fiction, historical fiction, romance novels, mysteries and thrillers, fantasy novels, romantasy novels, so on and so forth, and given you some titles that are new that people are really loving and are really popular right now. So while we want to avoid doing things that we see on Everbee, like specifically calling out specific book titles, Fourth Wing Sweatshirt, Basgiath War College, these are tied to a series of books and specifically uses that work as the main selling point. We want to avoid specifically doing that, but it's likely that a lot of these books, similar to the Fourth Wing, Onyx Storm is a book on the Fourth Wing series, they probably have a lot of similar types of plot lines, character tropes, features in locations that we can probably pull from for our designs. So we can take inspiration from what is trending well and what is popular amongst readers right now without specifically needing to read those books or specifically calling out those books. So what I'm going to do is I've gone over to Gemini, which is an AI tool that is completely free. It's powered by Google and essentially allows you to prompt it and ask for different information back to be kind of like your brainstorm partner. So what I put in here is generate 5 cozy bookish merch phrases inspired by romantasy novels like Fourth Wing, Onyx Storm, Night and the Moth without referencing any specific books, and I hit enter. And what it spits out are some one-liners that could be very easily embroidered onto a t-shirt, added into your design, that are specific to people that are loving these types of books, and they will know that it is perfectly fitting for them. So for example here, in my morally gray area, fueled by coffee and enemies to lovers, I love that one. I came for the plot, I stayed for the tension. My love language is a highly stakes fantasy romance. Like, these are all perfect, that are not specific to any one book. They're not calling out, they're not infringing on anything. We'll want to make sure that these phrases are not trademarked, obviously, but they are getting more nuanced, and you'd be able to call out romantasy lovers or contemporary fiction lovers and things like that in your SEO. That is completely different and customized, but also so on trend right now. And you can take this a step further. There is plenty of room here. And for example, to showcase that, I've put in another different prompt that says now generate 5 bookish merch phrases for common tropes, plot events, and imagery, things like enemies to lovers. So it spit out, I like my fictional men like I like my tea, dark and morally gray. My love language is forced proximity, fueled by spite and second chance romance. If he's not enemies to lovers trope, I don't want him. These are all things that, again, people that are reading these books will know, and it totally fits why they're reading these books. And you can do it for any of the other genres out there and prompt in different popular titles so they are resonating with what is popular right now. And you can take this further and put your own spin on it. I thought it would be so funny to create some merch with things that have the phrase of, sorry, I can't come to the phone right now, I'm reading blank, because when you're reading a book, you're probably like vegging out and not wanting to talk to anybody. Nobody picks up their phone these days anyways, but I think it was very funny. So for an example here, sorry, I can't come to the phone right now, I'm reading about enemies to lovers in one bed. Sorry, I can't come to the phone right now, I'm reading about a dangerously charismatic fae prince. Like, these are common tropes that are not specific to a single book. If you've read any of them, you will know that it is found in all of them. What we see perform really well in the print on demand niche is when somebody creates a listing for mom or dad, and you can customize that to be sister, brother, nurse, all of these different types of custom elements. So when you have a design that's working really well, you just cross niche that to a bunch of different type of occupations, family members, all types of things. That's the same type of element that I'm trying to showcase here, which is you can take a winning design. So you'll have to do some spot checking and some listing creation to create different designs in this bookish niche. But if you get one that's selling that is working on a specific genre, you can just change that wording and change that to match what is performing well across all these other genres of books out there. And so that's the same methodology that we are constantly wanting to do, is creating new products that are taking what is performing well, making it a little bit different, but opening up that amount of people that it's able to be applicable for. So a perfect category for that is going to be the book lover niche, and we've seen it here as an example. Once again, if you are new here, please like and subscribe for more content like this. I will be posting fresh edits on niches and trends like this every week. I will catch you on the next one.